Hey guys, what's up? It's me coming from G&A today. So I've got the brand new Taurus TX 22. This is their newest polymer frame striker fired 22 LR pistol. This is February 6, 2019. They just announced it at SHOT Show just a couple weeks ago. I got it in today. I've already got an unboxing video of this. I just haven't edited it yet. That'll come up later. But the main thing is I wanted to get out and put some rounds through it, and I was able to do that today. I always have good intentions of keeping up with how many rounds I shoot, but I just end up start shooting and having fun and forget. But and I could go back and look because I think I've got every single round on video, but I think it's around 200, 250 rounds, something like that. First of all, the wind is blowing today. It just does. If you watch my videos, you know that. I do have a dead cat windscreen on my mic, so hopefully some of the wind is knocked down, but that doesn't change the fact that the wind was blowing. It was gusting up to 45 miles an hour today. So that makes for less than desirable conditions, especially when you're out in the open like I am and dirt blowing in your face, stuff like that. But this gun is awesome. It really is. The trigger on it is sweet. And I've got video on the range, and I'll play that in just a little bit. I'll try to get through this part of it as quick as possible. But I've got video on the range of me showing, like, getting up real close. And whenever I'm doing that, I'm intentionally changing my grip where it's not proper, but that way you can see exactly what the reset looks like. This trigger does measure at 5 pounds, and I weighed it on my Lyman trigger gauge. So it is 5 pounds, but it is so short. It's just an awesome trigger. There was only two things that happened that's really not the gun's fault. Number one, I shot CCI quiet through this, and it did not cycle that, which CCI says that it won't, that quiet won't cycle in a semi-auto. Now they have new quiet that they say will, but I was shooting the old quiet and it didn't cycle, and it's not supposed to. So that's one thing. The other thing was I tried to intentionally load this magazine wrong and see if it wouldn't do it right. And that's the way generally all 20, well, I guess any magazine for that matter, but like on the Smith & Wesson M&P 1522, if you just bring the follower all the way down like this, just bring it down to the bottom, and then try to drop in a bunch of rounds, on the 1522 it won't work. And exact same story on this. I just brought the follower all the way down and just dropped rounds in to see what would happen, and sure enough, it did not like that. It got the rounds out of kilter, and they did not feed properly after a little bit. So you have to load it properly. So that's no big deal at all. I mean, you got to load any magazine properly. So what you do is you use this little thumb assist to barely take off any pressure, and that way it makes it a little bit easier to slip it in, but you got to keep a little bit of that pressure to make sure everything gets lined up. You're staggering 16 rounds in this magazine, which that's going to be one of the big key points for this, is that it does hold 16 rounds. I've got a lot of 22 handguns. All of them hold 10 rounds. I think the Smith & Wesson, just the standard 22, M&P 22, holds 12 rounds standard. But in a just standard 22 like this is going to be the highest, 16. Of course, now Kel-Tec has their 33 rounder, which that's going to be awesome. Okay, I shot all kinds of ammo just to see, and I tried to shoot a bunch of cheap ammo to see. I shot Remington Golden Bullet. I shot Winchester White Box. I shot Federal Auto Match. I shot CCI Quiet. I shot some Federal suppressor rounds, which are like 970 feet per second. What else? I shot one other thing. I don't know, but I shot several rounds, several types, and especially the Golden Bullet and the White Box are some of the cheapest bulk 22 you can get, and they work perfectly. Other than the two things that I've already described, the quiet, not cycling, and that magazine deal where I tried to load it wrong, beside that, this thing ran like a top. It really, really ran very smoothly. Definitely had plenty of guns. If you've watched my channel for very long, I've definitely had some cheap guns that have not performed very well. This thing ran very, very smoothly. Okay, I'm new to the suppressor world, and so I don't have a lot of experience with it, but this thing suppressed like crazy. I mean, it just quieted down very, very well. And so, man, running this with that suppressor just was awesome. The grip on it, for me, feels good. My hands are average to a little bit above average. That feels good. Okay, the safety, I don't like having a manual safety, but I guess for the type of, what this is going for, having a safety is a good thing. The good thing about it is this safety does not switch on or off very easily. So that's a good thing, because for me, generally, most of the time, I'm just gonna have the safety off. So it's going to be pretty hard to accidentally switch the safety on. So that's a good thing, that even if it is there, it's pretty low profile, unobtrusive, and it's hard to switch on. So that's a good thing. Okay, the trigger, I've already said, is awesome. I imagine if this takes off, and I can't see why it wouldn't, but I'm sure there will be some speed loaders for these mags, which this little thumb assist right here is pretty much just in the same plane as the outside of the body, so it's kind of hard to get a hold of. I was having to use my thumbnail. I don't know if you can tell, but man, it's dug way up underneath my thumbnail as I was grabbing with my thumbnail to bring that follower down. But it's better to have that than trying to push in right here. But the magazines are some type of polymer. They seem to be pretty good. Okay, and I said this on my unboxing that I'll put out later, but this has TX branded on it. I cannot find out what Taurus means by TX. I don't know. I've looked through their literature, looked through the product manual. I cannot figure out what this is. So I don't know, but for me living in Texas, that's what it means, is that I got my Texas 22. All right, and so obviously I've got this little adapter on here. Okay, on this 22, on my Smith & Wesson MP 22 Compact, to get the thread protector off of this, to be able to get a thread adapter on there, was insanely difficult, and a lot of people have that problem. On here, to get the little thread protector off of the end of this barrel was pretty easy. I put it in my vise, but I really probably didn't need to. It just barely took any torque at all. And the thread protector, this right here, broke off real easy. You'll have to have a 3/8 open-end wrench to be able to get on there. But this thing broke off real easy so that I could put this adapter on and so I could run my suppressor. Okay, I was shooting probably from about 10 to 12 yards, shooting it still, and I could just, well, with the wind blowing 45 miles an hour and holding the pistol, I was definitely kind of swaying around a little bit, and so it made it a little bit difficult. But I sat down at about 17 or 18 yards, something like that. And I shot this 15 round group, which is not great, but the wind was blowing 40 miles an hour, and I was 17, 18 yards away with the pistol. And I'm not the best with shooting with the pistol, but this is the group that I got. And there's quite a few right in here. There's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 in there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I don't know. So anyways, there's quite a few grouped up right in there. The trigger is awesome. It's accurate, holds 16 rounds, just has a good natural grip. The stippling on this, it's not super aggressive, but it's aggressive enough to know that you've got a good traction on it. It's not like like my Smith & Wesson M&P 9 M2.0, but it is pretty good texturing on there. It's got the same stippling on the front strap, the sides, and on the back strap. Pretty nice, and this little palm swell feels really nice. Be coming in from G&A today. Thanks for watching. These are gonna be the first shots through the Taurus TX 22, and the wind is gusting 45 to 50 miles an hour out here. So even with the dead, like my microphone with the dead cat windscreen on it, I know there's still gonna be stupid wind noise. But anyways, these are the first shots. These first ones, I'm gonna be shooting some CCI AR Tactical. I like to shoot copper-plated bullets as the first rounds through a handgun. All right, so let's see how this runs. Okay, safety off. Okay. That ran flawlessly. Good. Okay, next I want to shoot some cheap Winchester white box through this. Some Winchester hollow points, some big wide hollow points. Hey, perfect. It's on, that's for sure. This wind is so hard, it's blowing me around. Okay, I'm gonna shoot some cheap Remington Golden Bullet. I'm trying to shoot cheap stuff to see if it cycles good. Golden bullet shot perfect. Perfect. Okay, this time I'm going to shoot some quiet. Yeah, the quiet does not have enough oomph. Okay. That's at 16, 17 yards, and so I'm not very good, but man, that thing is definitely slinging them in. There's the reset. There's the reset. Reset. Start swinging it way harder to hit when they're swinging.